I'm moving there, bro.
Go for it when you're ready.
We are live. We are live. We are live. Hello, everyone. It is I. I am finally back on Thursday with my two homies. My man, the master of the flux capacitor, CJ on the wheels of steel, making sure this broadcast comes out crispy and clean because he's the man who's got the bandwidth that just won't quit. And my main man, Gus, who likes to cuss, who breaks it down from up, down to downtown. You know you got to be around for Cuss with Gus.
Welcome back, bro. Welcome back.
I'm fired up, man. I'm an energized ape.
Peace be with you.
Yes, I'm a monkey on a mission.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Just, like I told you, just in time for the apocalypse.
Just in time for the apocalypse, man. What's going on, bro?
Dude, we missed you quite a bit, and you missed a lot the last couple of weeks from the Google shit. But even between me and CJ spoke a week ago, but even between now and then, you have Barcelona today, you had Charlottesville over the weekend.
That's right.
Dude, things are fucking escalating, dude.
That's quickly. Right. Aloha snack bar to everybody in Barcelona.
Yeah,
keep letting them in. You know, I think they had a little dose of cultural enlightenment today. It seems like.
And they've already released pictures of the guy too. It's pretty funny. Like he's basically
he's blonde haired and blue eyed.
Yes, he's Adolf Hitler, but he's Adolf Hitler from Morocco with selfie pictures on his Facebook, like that's the jihad. He's like a narcissistic jihadist.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did they kill him or what?
Well, I guess there were three, and again, this is all early shit coming out. I've been trying to follow like 6 different news outlets, but one of the guys dead, 2 of the guys detained. So. They released one of the people are confirmed, either the dead one or one of the 2 suspects that is detained.
Wow.
But Moroccan citizen, briefly lived in France and then briefly lived in Spain, is what I'm seeing so far anyway.
You know, the crime in Spain is through the roof. It's disgusting, and I have extended family out there. It's disgusting.
That's you're finding that throughout Europe. It ranges. Yeah. Depending which country you pick, it ranges. But again, we because of Charlottesville, we can't even talk about this. We're Hitler if we even discuss it. So,
well, you know what? You got the pass, man. I'm a multicultural kind of guy. I'm brown enough, and CJ's another brown guy. So.
Well, the left after 2 years of Bolsheviks burning cities.
Yeah.
Beating people, destroying property, killing people. After 2 years of literal socialist, communist, Bolsheviks terrorizing the country, they finally got what they wanted. The media found 100 Nazis in the South, and now because of those 100 Nazis in the South, we have to be afraid of we have to ignore the 2 million communists in the countries that have been burning fucking cities for 2 years.
Exactly.
The most amazing thing is they try to make it like a pissing contest. Mm-hmm. Like as far as I'm concerned, the main difference. First of all, Nazis, socialists, communists, they all fall under the umbrella of collectivism, which is
correct.
the exact opposite of individual. And Hitler and Mussolini are both socialists. Mm-hmm. The left never likes admitting that, obviously. But the amazing thing is that like. The straight up communists and like leftists basically have like a better like propaganda campaign the last 100 years where they've protected Lenin, they've protected Stalin, they've protected Castro, they've protected Mao, they've protected Pol Pot. Like the only thing we can talk about is Nazi evil. We can't talk about all the other evils because because the overlap in their acknowledged ideology is so similar. So the main difference, forget about labels for a minute, the main difference in a totalitarian, if you have to compare totalitarian murderous regimes throughout history, the main difference between Nazis and communists is 10 years of hell on earth versus 100 years of hell on earth.
Yeah.
Like the communists just had a longer run at it. That's it.
Yeah, and they got the body count to boot, man.
Well, yeah, but they don't bring that up on CNN. Like
No.
we can't. Dude, there's a Lenin statue in Seattle. Like there's literally this morning, an Abraham Lincoln statue was vandalized and destroyed in the south side of Chicago because the one who fought to end slavery, they said his the Facebook comments are so fucked up, dude. They're based like Lincoln didn't free slaves because he loved slaves. He freed slaves because of it's basically people sticking up for property destruction and vandalism to someone. If you're white and you're a founding father or have any sort of semblance in American history, even if it's Abraham fucking Lincoln, they appear to be on a full-scale war to demonize. Or it's the most incredible shit I've ever seen. But the only time that's why I know this. I know what this is all really about. Not for the sheep and the zombies in the streets. Those people are just the people burning cities and attacking people and killing people. Those are just useful idiots. The real driver of all this is for the academia and the oligarchs and all of it is ideology. They want to. The only thing I could think of, they want to normalize. Sorry about that. I had my window open so I could smoke a cigar. They want to normalize socialism and communism, and they want to demonize any form of capitalism, anything great that has come out of the West the last 2,500 years. They want to make it illegitimate. They want to make us forget about our history, our culture, all of it. Basically, some hyperbole example, everything I'm seeing, and Trump actually pointed out with the Thomas Jefferson and George Washington thing, which is a great angle for him to take. They're going to question, they've reached a point where they could question the validity of Isaac Newton if someone claims he said boobs once in a bar. Like physics and calculus is sexist. Isaac Newton said vagina in a bar once.
Right.
Like that's where we're headed. That's what they're trying to do. And it's insane, dude. I don't know how I don't know how people can believe anything that comes out of CNN's mouth anymore, or the New York Times, or Washington Post, or MSNBC. They've spent 2 years. They're trying to make you fearful of literally 100 or 200 guys in Virginia who are Nazis, when with your own eyes, they have been hiding people from you for 2 years who are literally trying to destroy our civilization, city by city.
Absolutely, man. It's pretty funny also. You look at how Odumbo had support, and him and Hillary Clinton and Victoria Nuland, the whole freaking State Department idiots, supported Nazis, neo-Nazis called the Spavoda, in the Ukraine that overthrew a democratically elected Ukrainian government via coup. They spent tens of billions of dollars, exactly $5 billion by Victoria Nuland's own mouth, to overthrow them, and then blame the damn Russians on it. So they have nobody remembers that part, But Trump, here's Trump. He's disavowing. I mean, how many times this guy's got to say it? Trump wants to defend Confederate statues. It's our history, and I think I don't know if you see this. There's a documentary coming out by a jazz musician by the name of Daryl Davis. Now he's a black gentleman. Okay, it's called Accidental Courtesy, and Daryl Davis is somebody where he collects KKK paraphernalia, okay, and memorabilia and all this other stuff, and he has made friends with many Klansmen. And what has occurred is that many people in the KKK have left the KKK because of this man. Because what did he do? Instead of reacting with hate, he said, "Hey, man, why do you hate me if you don't even know me? Let's sit down. Let's have a dialogue." And then when people actually sit down and have a constructive dialogue, they realize, holy crap, there's a lot more things they agree upon than disagree upon. That's what it is. It's and you brought up the whole point with the alt-right morons, right? That guy, what's his name? CJ, Sean Kessler or something?
Sean, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So that guy, who is the leader of the alt-right, turns out to be a former Obama supporter, was paid by the CIA. I mean, of the CNN, might as well be the CIA, right? And he was a lifetime leftist. Now he's Unite the Right. He's a paid agent provocateur. This whole thing's we're being gamed on a large scale by the deep state. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you want to try a little thought experiment with people.
Yeah.
Here's a good one to try, and to see what kind of person you're dealing with. And it's not even a pissing contest. It's just it's easy for someone to say. This is how fucking insane it is. It's easy for someone to say Nazism is evil. I could say it. Everyone could say it. Nazis are evil.
Yeah.
Big whoop-de-doo. We all admit it. We all agree. 99.999% of the population agrees Nazis are evil. Congratulations. But then turn that conversation around and say, yes, I acknowledge Nazis are evil. Can you say the same thing about communists and socialists? And here's the problem: 25% of the country can't.
Yeah.
And because a lot of these people who've been arrested the last 2 years for arson, for battery, for beating people with bike locks, are literally college professors and teachers.
Right.
We have everyone knows Nazis are evil. That's why great, you dug up a couple hundred of them. Ooh, hide under your fucking beds. We know, everyone knows. It's not a mystery. What the problem is that what you're seeing now is what you've seen in every internal conflict starting in 1910 all the way to 2017 is where communists go, you end up radicalizing neo-Nazis. And where Nazis go, communists follow behind too. It's always, when you get to, and the most frustrating thing is they're both forms of collectivism. Like they're both evil. Yeah. It's like, and it's not my analogy, I'm stealing it from someone. It's like two mafia bosses vowing for who's going to run shit, you know?
Exactly.
Nazis are evil, we know. Aren't communists too? Can we agree on that? Because it hasn't been, yes, Nazis did what they did last week. I agree. Guess what? After Nazis left Greece, you know who came in? Communists. Like we've suffered. I've suffered through both. Well, I didn't suffer. My family suffered through both. They're not, as much as we want to paint Nazis as the only bad guys out there, they aren't the only bad guys. There's lots of bad guys. So the problem is there's so much overlapping ideology in the academics. They used to defend the communists. It's amazing. This is what the left's position is. The left defended the USSR, and now the communism is no longer in Russia. Now the left hates Russia. Like the left.
Exactly. I mean, they love Russia so much that they would literally. When I remember the videos, and you and I remember this, bro, when Gorbachev was coming down the steps from the plane on the tarmac, and all the left and the media were sitting there. They literally had their hands in their coats, and it looks like they look like a bunch of dirty guys in a dirty movie theater with a trench coat on. I mean, you could have sworn that they were literally like masturbating as Gorbachev was coming off the plane. I mean, that's how much the left was. They loved the guy. They were fawning all over him. I mean, my God. I mean, oh my God, Gorby's here. It's Gorby. Oh, Gorby. And then what happened, man? Even when Reagan was running for re-election, this was declassified. You know, Ted Kennedy, the drunk of the Senate, the drunken liar. I wouldn't call him the lion of the Senate. The drunken liar of the Senate. What was he doing? He was entreating the Soviet premier at that time. Okay, this is the guy before Gorbachev. I forgot what his name was, and asking him for help to overthrow Ronald Reagan, prevent him from getting elected, so that they can have normalized Russian relations. And you nailed it. As soon as the Russians stopped being communists, now the left hates it.
Yeah, they're now Russia's evil. That they have some sort of semblance of private property. Now they're the devils again. It doesn't listen. There's universal bullet points that every murderous, totalitarian, authoritarian regime has followed from literally from 1910 until 2017, and they're not hard to spot. And just like we've been saying, just like I've been telling you since day one, and me and CJ talked about it too, it's like we're not here to be mouthpieces for Trump. If Trump starts doing shit, we went off about civil asset forfurriture. Like that's an attack on private property. That is that's actually legitimate. That's legitimate shit.
Yeah, that is totally.
Yeah. So if you want to look at the bullet points, it doesn't matter if it's fascists, Nazis, Marxists, socialists, communists. There are bullet points. I'll spitball a few off the top of my head. They're censoring speech. Consistent, regardless of what totalitarian regime it is. Disarm the population. Consistent, regardless of which one it is. Control communication. Attack property rights. Spying on citizens. Take over education. Control all education. Monitor transportation. These things, and there's everything I just said. A lot of it is like overlap, just by chance with with Marx's Communist Manifesto. Like, and all these crazy despotic regimes all follow that blueprint. And so it doesn't matter if it was, and we saw a lot of this shit with George W. Dude, basically, if you go down the list, it looks like the Democrats like running platform every year. Take away guns, take away hate speech, free speech is dead, blah, bam, bam. But even George W. Bush did a lot of these fucking things, like the spying and the surveillance state. And so when you start seeing, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It's not about, oh my God, Trump said pussy once, he's Hitler. Ooh. Like these are all bullshit liberal talking points.
Right.
The same thing you have to look for, regardless of who's running the country, is consistent. Right. Whichever government's in charge, look for those things. Look for attack on free speech. Look for censorship. Look for disarming the population. Look for property rights. That's when governments get out of control. It doesn't matter if they say is evil. Shockingly, as evil as I find so many of these ideologies, that's the paradox of freedom. We live. The fact that we have a Bill of Rights in place, you have to let all these people speak. It doesn't matter if it's communist or white supremacist or black supremacist or jihadist. These people all get the right to speak. The line in the sand is violence. It always has been. Your freedom, your freedom ends once you initiate force.
Correct.
And that's like a universal principle. The Supreme Court has upheld it. It's like, there's nothing to debate here. So but the media is, dude, it's incredible. There was just like a Washington Post thing. It's like, there's like these academics and contributors to the Washington Post. And there was an article in the New York Times, dude, why sex was better for women under socialism. Like, Google it. It's like,
jeez, you gotta be kidding me.
Dude, Google women, sex, socialism. A New York Times article pops up. They don't have freedom or food or toilet paper, but the orgies are incredible. Like, it's fucking. But that's the problem. The socialist.
And dude, I mean, socialism. Well, it does. It just it proliferates like rabid bunny rabbits, a bunch of beta male cucks. So at that point, I mean, the women, they're not getting real men anymore. They're getting basically a girlfriend with a male appendage at this point, bro. Well,
dude, it all ties into what we've been talking about, man. They've infested every facet of the culture, the media, academia, the kid. Again, think about everything. All the bullet points I just said. The Democrats. The whole socialist, cultural Marxist ideology has infested education. Like they brainwash the kids early, they brainwash them in college. The media nonstop. We need gun control. We need gun control. We need gun control. Nonstop hate speech. You can't speak. You can't speak. You can't speak. Like those are universally bad. Hitler, Stalin, Mao, all of them. They wouldn't have let it. That's the playbook they operate by. Like it's history. You study history. Instead, the only thing they want you to think about is Hitler hated everyone who, Hitler hated Jews. Yeah, we know. Hitler hated a lot of people. Hitler hated Greeks too. Like, fuck off. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. There were 90 million deaths in that war. Like, we don't have to just think of Hitler. Like, we get it. Hitler was bad. I lost family to him too. Let's move on. Like, we can acknowledge collectivism is evil. Right. It's not just Hitler and minorities. It's a danger. Collectivism is a danger to everyone. So I don't know. They're pushing, dude. They're pushing for conflict. They're endorsing conflict. They want to see more of this. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what to do about it. Like I think the non-aggression principle still holds true, but they're endorsing violence. They're tearing down property. They're attacking people in the streets. Charlottesville ends, and all of a sudden Seattle's on fire that night. Like,
that night, I mean, Chicago was on fire that night too, man. You heard about the Chicago riot? Nobody, not even mentioned in their freaking newspaper.
Dude, it's incredible. It's all incredible. That's why I replied to the email when CJ sent the show link out. I'm like, the apocalypse might be everything's escalation right now.
It really is.
They're pushing for it, dude. They want to see this. And that's why the 100 or 200 Nazis was like the greatest gift to the liberals ever.
Yep.
Like it gave them the green light to try to put the fear of God in America, and now you're just making the Antifa fucks and the BLM guys. Now you're just giving them the green light. Like, all right, go ahead. We got our one Nazi we were looking for 2 years. Now go make shit rain. Like, yep. So yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, totally, bro. I mean, these Nazi idiots have I mean, thanks to those morons, they've pretty much have opened the floodgates for the ultra left to be even more violent. And what's going to happen is that the silent majority, which is us, we sat on the sidelines, and all we've done is just give Antifa a mild beating, and mostly atomic wedgies. We've been giving a lot of atomic wedgies out. We've been handing those out on Antifa for a while. Now it's going to go from atomic wedgies, and now what's the point? What's the breaking point where us, the silent majority, says, you know what, enough's enough, and we start stomping on these guys? And I think it's being pushed there, and I think this deep state wants it because.
But that's part of what they're doing. So yeah. Let's be clear here. If they got to listen to me, you, CJ, and other guys like us, we'd be labeled Nazis.
Oh, totally.
So you put Jake Tapper 5 minutes, whatever the fuck his name. Yeah, put that tapeworm. Yeah, put that Bolshevik geek onto one of our interviews for 5 minutes. He'd be like, "Oh, you guys are Hitler by." Like they will label everyone not a leftist as Hitler.
If you could punch an anchor, who would it be?
Are we?
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Are we, well, don't forget. See, this is gonna be me being biased now, and you should know who it is. I'm Greek.
Don't say Stephanopoulos.
No, he's a bigger guy, and who were the Greeks at war with for 1,000 years? I mean, you know. Yeah, you know who I'd go after, and it's chivalrous.
Oh, the fat greasy moron!
Yeah,
dude, oh man.
If God willing, if sank through the first punch, because I wouldn't engage in violence otherwise. I wouldn't mind Sink throwing a punch at me. I would love to see that escalate because he's a bigger guy too. It would be, we'll see how it plays out.
He's a fat moose. You'd pick him up by his man boobs, bro.
I wouldn't mind, dude. Sink has been avid in protecting these people. This Antifa. If you watch videos, and a lot of people pointed out, like it's videos of him reviewing like Hamburg, Germany, and it's like, oh no, the cops were at foot. Like, dude, you literally have like 5,000, 10,000 Bolsheviks like burning a city down.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh no, the police got to give him space. Like, he's basically acting like they're 4-year-old toddlers that you have to like let them vent in a corner.
Yeah.
And yeah, so given the fact he tries to intimidate people, and with his, I would love to.
I'd slap the grease off. He's like the most greasiest looking guy I've ever seen. Like he literally.
No, he's just a disgusting person. He's a total propaganda.
Like I see him on my screen, I want to like wipe my screen. My screen starts getting greasy whenever he comes on.
Reasonable discussion.
I just want to have a discussion. I'm just trying to have a discussion. It's a reasonable discussion.
Yeah, he's a pretty disgusting.
You saw how Ben Shapiro destroyed him on the Politicon debate?
That was great. Shapiro.
Oh my God.
Shapiro's been on fire like the last couple of months.
It was absolutely savage. It was brutal, man.
If I had a sister, I would probably want to see her get into it with Rachel Maddow. Yeah,
it's a toss-up between her and that Anna Kasparian.
Yeah, Kasparian.
I can't stand her.
Better than you.
Yeah, you're a fucking retard. Yeah.
So that's where we're at. It's easy for me, you. It's easy for the Gavins of the world, the Shapiros of the world, the Crowders of the world. It's so easy for us. It's effortless. Like, yeah, Nazis are evil. No problem. Now, please, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Taper, Miss Maddow, the rest of you.
Don Lemonhead.
Can you please acknowledge that Antifa is evil? That we are dealing with communist. No, they're peaceful.
Did you see after the whole Charlottesville thing, Don Lemonhead at CNN? Lemonhead was like, Antifa. You know, they were just protesting. They're not. I mean, they always downplay the ultra left. Always downplays them.
The headline after they tore down the statue, like the Monday, this last Monday, a couple days ago, the CNN headline was counter protesters tear down statue. They're not counter protesters, dude.
No.
They're rioters and looters. They're Bolshevik rioters.
And that's what I forgot to mention about that Daryl Davis, the black musician who was winning people out of the Klan by talking and having dialogue with them. One of the things Daryl Davis says, he goes, you do not tear down statues. You do not tear down our history. Good and bad, this is our history. It's to learn from, you morons.
Well, that's what they all do. It doesn't matter if it's, again, going back to the list of everything. Germany had their book burnings.
Look what ISIS is doing, and the Taliban. They're blowing up historical sites.
They want to, and Orwell talked about this a bunch, dude. They eliminate history, they eliminate culture, and then they rewrite it in their own image. They want to define history. Right. So the question is, and that's why I brought up the Lincoln vandalism this morning in Chicago. It's like, dude, and Trump, dude, kudos for him for bringing up Jefferson and Washington. It's like, dude, where does it stop?
Yeah. Where does it stop?
Everything is offensive to someone. Dude, MLK was anti-gay marriage. Is he?
No.
Dude, is he next?
He's a homophobe.
Dude, is he next? Is Martin Luther King? Where does this stop? Where does this madness end? That's all I want. Like, and the answer is, if you've read enough, if you read and understand and can argue postmodernism and cultural Marxism, the answer is it never ends.
No.
They want conflict.
Yep.
for infinity.
Yep.
There will always be a new oppressed group. Next, when they get done with trannies, I'm telling you, it's going to be people born with 11 fingers or midgets or something. Like they're always looking for the next, and I'm thinking they pull up population statistics. And I think right now they're probably at, all right, makes up 1/50,000th of the population? Like they're getting desperate. Like they're going down the list and like, all right, who's next? We haven't talked to the redheads yet. Let's get the redheads on our side. We got to get those redheads. Like they go down these lists of who's next. Like I thought we would be done, but we're never done. It's who's next? Who's next in the oppression, fucking Olympics that we could get up here. It never ends, dude. They'll find something new to bitch about. And I don't know. The people need to wake up, dude, but they're not waking up. They're getting worse. They're getting angrier and more violent, and they feel their violence is justified and rational, and it's not. People are going to start. This isn't Hamburg, Germany, dude. People are going to start getting fucking killed, and that's. I think Charlottesville is a taste of it, and the fact that it's escalating now.
Yeah. I
think once you start seeing them try to throw like firebombs through like store owners' windows and shit, I think people are gonna. I don't know. At some point, it's like, what do you want to happen? Like, what are people expecting here? This is not every town is a liberal mecca that is going to put up with this shit. Like so a lot of the liberal fucking, with Democrat mayors and shit. They like the police stand down and the destruction of the cities are fine. But you're eventually going to run into a city that has a lot of gun owners, and they're not even going to be protests. And this is just me.
You mean like Texas?
It could be anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's Texas or Colorado,
Florida, Arizona,
Colorado, Arizona, Nevada. You're going to run into a city or a place, and it's not going to be protesters on the other side. It's not going to be protesters from the right. It's going to be just a citizen or a group of citizens that they're going to. I'm telling you how this is me speculating, forecasting how it might play out. They're going to fuck with their property, or they're going to start lighting something on fire, and people are going to pull out guns and start shooting them. And it's going to be, theoretically, unless the media just totally covers up the incident or lies about it, it's going to be in self-defense. Like, if you try to light someone's car on fire while they're in it, they might pull out a gun and shoot you. Like, that's
dude.
They could try to pull. They could try to put the Trayvon Martin shit spin on it all they want, or the Michael Brown spin, but
I can't.
Am I crazy? Like, if I ran a dry cleaner and I'm staring at like 4 communists getting ready to throw fire bombs at me.
What's going to happen, Gus, is that you and I will be like the Korean shop owners during the LA riots. We're going to go up to the rooftop, and you and I are going to be playing, Call of Duty, Black Ops. Okay, I'm going to be calling in the wind speed and the range. You're going to start popping dudes. Okay,
well,
Tango down.
But that's they're so the intellectuals, the academics, the media. They're having these, basement dwelling, zero net worth zombies going off doing all this shit. They're promoting it like outright, and the only thing I could think of, again, ask yourself the old Latin phrase, "Qui bono," who benefits. They want to see. I think they want to see people die, because if a property owner defends himself, fights back, whatever, against a violent mob, and people get killed, then they're right back to their narrative. It's like, oh, see, peaceful protesters were protesting and they got shot by some Nazi Republican. Like, so this is like a story, dude. It's all a narrative. Brainwash the population. Brainwash the population. Brainwash the population. And they know what they're doing, dude. They're good at it. Everything, every headline, you could analyze every headline, and it's like linguistically manipulated. Every single protesters and dude, Antifa, anti-fascist. Like they're masters of like propaganda and like twisting reality, because they know most people have an attention span of fucking 10 seconds, so they just browse over shit. So anti-fascist sounds amazing, and counter-protester sounds amazing, and dude. We're talking about Syria. Moderate rebel sounds amazing.
Did you hear what they found? Did you hear what they found out in Syria?
What happened?
Dude, they found the chemicals that were used. They identified it, that these chemicals were made in the US and the UK, and they linked it back because of its specific proprietary makeup of each chemical. They linked it back to the labs from where it came from. They named the labs in the US where they made the stuff.
That story can't be true, because the U.S. media would have told us about it.
Yeah, exactly. Can't be true.
Well, yeah, dude. If you told the average American that, dude, we live in a time of total propaganda, fake reality. It really, not to go back to the philosophy shit, but it really is Plato's Cave. Whoever hasn't read Plato's Cave, go read it.
Go read Plato's Cave, and go, please. I'm begging everybody listening to this broadcast. If there's one book, and apart from your religious books, whether you have the Bible or whatnot, apart from your religious books, your spiritual books or whatnot, if there's one book you need to have right now, because it is so pertinent to what we're going through today, Atlas Shrugged. It is recommended reading in my house. You need Atlas Shrugged, because my God, this is exactly what the friggin' left is doing.
If I plucked 10 people off the street, and we had an experiment, and I said, What if I told you the U.S. and Saudi Arabia and Turkey were actually financed terrorists and ISIS in Syria, and there was no Syrian civil war? It was actually, it was foreigners brought in to overthrow the government. How many people would think you are a total quack or conspiracy theorist or bullshit? I mean, the amount of people that actually could acknowledge that, even though mainstream politicians have done it, like that U.S. Congresswoman, she's a Democrat from Hawaii. She came out and admitted it. Rand Paul's admitted it.
That woman from the congresswoman from Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard is her name.
Yes.
She is my future baby mama. But anyway,
let me interject here. She is indeed she did. I think she's ex-military too.
Yep.
But how people from, it doesn't matter if it's school to media to any of it, they are so fucking brainwashed and indoctrinated that they don't know history, they don't know current reality, they control every bit of information. They are just fed propaganda from age 5. And again, that's why controlling education is so important. They are fed propaganda and bullshit from age 5 to, till the day they die via news and newspapers and the rest of it. So it's an uphill battle, dude. I don't know. This is the most tension. Maybe you disagree. This is the most tension I remember.
This is the most tension I've ever remembered. This is more. I don't know which was more tension filled. This or the Cuban Missile Crisis.
I wasn't alive for it.
I wasn't alive for that either. But it's just like, this is up there, man. I'd say Cuban Missile Crisis numero uno, and this is definitely a number 2. This is crisis mode right now, man. Crisis in the Republic. And I'm telling you right now, man, I mean, if heads don't roll, if people don't get arrested, some of these charlatan actors in the deep state, within by the end of the year or the early next year, and if we don't vote out most of these cronies by the 2018 midterm elections, then what? That's the question that I would have to ask is then what, man,
Well, so what's the Republic, per what you just acknowledged, it's like, what's the Republicans' excuse right now? They control every federal branch of government. The only thing that the Republicans don't control is literally some of the larger cities. So the mayors have the power to make police stand down for a lot of this shit, and I think maybe that's why we're seeing it. It's the Democrats' last vestige of power. They have none in the federal government. They don't control the Senate, the House, Supreme Court, the executive branch. So and that's why they're making such a big stink about the sanctuary cities and all that shit, because it's the only power they have is in LA, San Francisco, Chicago, New York. It's the cities. So the Democrats still, a lot of mayors are Democrats, which is maybe why you are seeing cities burn, because they pull the cops. They let the commies burn the cities roughshod, shut down speech, throw bricks at people, kill people. It's incredible, man. If you really have been, and that's when I woke up to all the cultural shit, like when the riots and looting started, because I've been watching it all, and I'm just like, how are they letting them do this? Like I don't. How is this allowed? Like these people, they're literally setting everything on fire. Like how is arson legal now? It's but apparently if you vote for them and share their ideology, it is allowed. I mean, so it's fucked, dude. I don't know. I don't like the way I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know. We've been talking about it forever, like for months and months and months. But now that it's looks like it's becoming more and more and more real, it's fucked up shit, man. You never think you're gonna live through something like this,
right?
Like we've read about shit like this,
right?
And was the '60s as violent?
No,
I mean,
it was just the '60s is just it was mostly people just rebelling against authority and establishment, and it was pretty united. See, that the '60s, you had liberals. You don't have and the left was like a fringe of liberalism, but now the fringe is becoming the mainstream, And then whatever the liberals are either marginalized or they're supportive of it. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, man.
Well, and I think you're right, because I think the media and academics try to paint all these people on the streets as like peaceful hippies. Like the same stereotype we have in our minds for the late 60s, like the Woodstock acid, let's fuck in a field. So the same thing we attribute like the late 60s to, I think that's what they want people to think about Antifa. Like, so if you look at like the Hamburg, Germany Antifa shit, the pictures CNN was shooting out was dude, it was so priceless. They were shooting pictures out of like the gay flag and people like hugging each other and like all this peaceful shit. And then you pull up like the alternative news media and you see Hamburg's just on fire. The whole city's like burning down. I think they pump people full of, oh, hey, this is just the 60s again. We're it's peace and love and yeah, here's some acid.
And beating people with bicycle chains and whatnot. That's peace and love, man, dude.
No, dude, they're not hippie. These are not hippies. These are communists. These are socialist communists. These are revolutionaries. These people think revolution is romantic and Che Guevara and blah blah blah. I'm trying to think of like, and I kind of, me and CJ were bullshitting about it last week. Like, what's the end game? What do these people want? I think there's only two options in their mind. We either submit and become docile to all their demands forever, or they want violent revolution.
Yeah,
like it's like you either give up. Like I'm a Muslim woman tranny. You're my slave, V and Gus. Shut the fuck up. Whatever I say goes. Or they want violent revolution.
Right.
Like burn everything. Like burn it all down. We're going to war. Like I think that's what they want, because that's the way they act.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's exactly right, man. And especially we have the millennial generation. And with the millennials, if you look at them, they have no purpose, most of them. They have no vision. They're just here because they want all the love, all the affirmation. They've been coddled their entire life. And so they're just here to wreck things. So they're drawn. Believe it or not, there's been like so many psychological studies done with millennials. They are prone to revolution, to change. And then when they're asked, define what this change is, they can't define it. So that's why you see a lot of these morons involved in such crazy movements such as this.
Yeah, but they don't want revolution the way me and you want revolution, no. Where it's not only is it a peaceful revolution, but the revolution leads into more freedom. They want a violent revolution that leads to some reverse hierarchy where the trannies are in charge. Again, I haven't read the liberal bylaws in 6 months, so I might have changed. But I think the trannies are the top of the pyramid right now. I think
it is. It's right now the tranny who is gender fluid and it's like a non-binary. They're like totally on top of the pyramid. Gosh.
Yeah, if you're just a woman or just gay or just black,
you just don't cut it anymore. You're just totally screwed.
As they say in Game of Thrones, you have to bend the knee.
You're gonna have to bend the knee to the gay tranny, to the black female gay transsexual Muslim.
We all work for the trannies now. We're all in the same boat.
That's all Google hires these days. Did you see that?
Yo, dude, that's what I was raging with the last week about with CJ. It's all like the HR department's all like blue-haired, nose ring butches. It's like, all right, these are our new overlords. I mean,
so do you understand Python programming? No. Do you identify as male or gender fluid? Oh, you're a transsexual Muslim black, but you also identify as green. Squirrel attack helicopter. You got the job.
Dude, they're so you know what might be the turning point on our side, man. Honestly, anyone who like loves just freedom and individual liberty and being normal, the turning point might be, and this is just me thinking out loud, and I think we've kind of acknowledged this before. I think some of these groups might start turning on each other.
Yeah, they have.
And eventually, the groups that we are currently on their side will come along to our side. Like, we couldn't take those fucking feminists anymore. Like, so maybe there's like a split in the gay community or black community or feminist community. I don't know. Maybe like the trannies will upset the feminists so much that we'll start getting feminists back, or the feminists will like literally try cutting the balls off every black man, and the black men will all like be like, "You're right. Those feminists are fucking nuts, guys. We're back." Like,
so we're back.
We're sorry. They are crazy. You're right. Maybe that's how it plays out, where because this whole, they're anti-individual, they're anti-freedom, they're anti-individual. So as you try neutering every individual amongst yourselves, and they're all about hierarchies, where we're like pro-freedom, pro-individual liberty, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. Like, come one, come all. They're more like, no, you really have to acknowledge the power of the tranny. Like, so maybe everyone won't play ball with that. I don't know. But they might just end up eating themselves. They're eventually, you run out of victims eventually.
Yeah. No, you really do, man. You know, I'm reminded of this quote, and I don't know who said it, but it's so damn true, especially today than at any point. And the quote says, you know, peace is a dream only achieved when good men are willing to commit great violence upon evil men.
Oof.
And if that's something, I mean, that's what we're going to be pushed to, because right now, it's like the kids and the betas are running wild. And there's a point in human history where men like you, men like CJ, men like myself are going to stand up. The adult alpha males will stand up and put a stop to this. This is how nature corrects itself. Nature cannot be in disorder for this long before someone steps up. Someone like a Negan, like from Walking Dead, and he just shows up out of the way. I'm gonna shut that shit down. And that's it. It's gonna take somebody like a Negan with a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it, and said, "I'm here to shut that shit down."
But dude, the danger is that they, as we talked about earlier, like they're so skilled at propaganda and headlines and linguistics that even if an alpha stood up to literally protect his family as it was being attacked, like the media would spin it to like crazy Republican mows down Antifa or something. Like this is what they do for a living. It's correct. They won't show the footage of the Bolsheviks setting the family on fire. They'll just show the video of the guy shooting back, like defending his family. Yeah. So I think that's what, in a logical society, I agree. Like in self-defense, you stand up and you put people in their place when they're attacking you. But the society is not logical. I think these people are just an angry, violent mob which another thing we've never talked about. Most of these people have nothing to lose. Yeah, like they're back to protesting during business hours on a Monday. Like what the fuck is everyone? Why is no one at work? What the fuck is everyone doing? Like, are these just literally all basement dwellers? And if, again, not to make, but actually I will make fun of them. You pull up the pictures, but they're just fucking nerds. These are the same fucking nerds that have been doing this shit for a year. You know, it's the same fucking people. It's almost like they took a clone machine, and the same people you see in Seattle, you see in Oakland, you see in fucking Charlottesville, you see in like it's the same fucking people in every city. You could always
it's the same Soros money everywhere.
Yeah, they're good for a bunch of nose rings. They're good for some blue hair. They're good for, like, it's the same fucking stereotype. It's a fucking hipster.
Dude,
like,
they're so boring. These people have nothing to talk about except their stupid sexuality and their identity politics. They're so boring. They don't create anything. They don't achieve anything. They don't do anything. They have nothing interesting to talk about. The most dull people you could ever encounter.
Dude, a lot of them are. I think a lot of them are college professors. A lot of them, I think, do volunteer work. I don't know where they find them from. Like, I don't know, are they busting them in? How do these people organize? And you've probably researched that more than I have. I just don't. I don't know what these people do. I mean, are they literally all basement dwellers? I don't know. Like, and maybe that's why there's not many Republican protesters. Like, we're off working. Like, what do these people do? I don't know. Like, how do they pay their rent?
Yeah.
But they look the same to me. They're all like, it's all like a bunch of 95-pound men. It's fucking insane. Like, it's just skinny black jeans and their little bandanas over their faces, and like, okay, here we go again.
If I would have, oh my god, if I would have grabbed one of these guys, I'd crack their clavicles. It's ridiculous, man. But that's the whole point. That's why, one of the things I said this morning, I was talking about what there was an interview on Southfront, and they interviewed the Saker, and the Saker's a guy has like a former military contract. He's just a very intelligent guy. I've been following him since 2015 because James, the Russian analyst, led me to the Saker, and his website is called the Vineyard of the Saker. So they were interviewing this guy. One of the things he said is that, and I totally agree with him, if Trump were to call the American people to come out and help him and say, listen, I'm under duress, I'm under opposition severely. Okay, George Soros is funding these protesters. These protesters are not organic. There are protest companies that are paying these guys $25 an hour. These companies are linked to Soros. The media is against me. The Democrats and Republicans are against me. The establishment is against me. They're undermining us and the agenda that you, the American people, have voted for. Brother, if he were to do that, there'd be 10 million Americans would show up in D.C. fully armed and say, Mr. President, we're here for you. Let's go clean up house. Let's go clean up house. And, dude, that's what Putin has done. And that's what, remember Erdogan? Erdogan was he was in the middle of the coup in Turkey. What did he do? He called out to his people. And the people came out in droves on the street to stop a CIA coup.
But you already know how something like that gets spun.
Of course, right? But that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like if we go after these guys, we not only got to hit Congress and go after these politicians and bring them to justice, but these media outlets need to get shut down too. They need to get stormed. They need to have the off switch pulled. And it sounds extreme, right? It sounds like crazy, like revolutionary. But if we don't do this, we've lost the country.
That's the problem. If you do it, then you actually start tying into the legitimate totalitarian narratives. So you do, when you start trying to fuck with the media, which I agree to. That's why my vote is always like, all right, let's just take away their money. Like, let's boycott them. Let's stop clicking. Let's stop and just try starving them. The problem is, and Trump talks about it, a lot of them are just, they're subsidiary companies, and they're used by Amazon as like a tax write-off. Like, Amazon doesn't give a flying fuck about the Washington Post.
No.
And
same with AT&T with CNN. AT&T's probably considering dumping CNN. I mean, why is CNN even in business? It's beyond me.
Dude, they're brutal. If there was a logical, dude, they labeled the Tea Party Nazis, dude. Like, they labeled libertarians Nazi. They labeled Ron Paul a Nazi. Like, that's their move for everything. If Nazi. You're a Nazi, you're this or that. That's our greatest disadvantage. Outside of the fact that we, have families and jobs and all that shit, is that we actually played the shit we say we mean. So we try to play by rules. So when I say I believe, like, the number one rule of my philosophy is the non-aggression principle. Like, I actually abide by that. So they don't play by the rules. So their greatest advantage is we believe in individualism and freedom and non-aggression, and they don't play by that rule. So we're me and you are like, everyone has a right to speak. It doesn't matter if you're a communist, a fascist, a Black Panther, a Maoist. Everyone gets to speak. Welcome to America. You get to speak, right? They want the exact opposite. They want to get to speak, but they don't want freedom lovers to get to speak. They don't, and that's their advantage. Our rules, the rules we try to, the rules we play by and want society to have, benefit them. Their rules don't benefit us. They only benefit them. That's their tactical advantage.
The whole thing. And that's the thing between our worldview and their worldview. In our world, idiots like these morons can exist. In their world, we can't.
Exactly.
We'll be exterminated. That's the difference between a libertarian conservative and these crazy out there leftists, man.
Well, dude, perfectly well said. In our world, they could exist. In their world, we can't. You're 100%. That's spot on. And maybe I don't know. I think maybe people are waking up. Like it's hard for them to hide the anti. I think you're seeing as they like start going after the statues and the books and everything else. I think they're starting to rub a lot of people who consider themselves in the center. So the media is trying to scare the shit out of everyone that there's Hitler's hiding under their bed. But at the same, like a day later, they show angry mobs tearing down statues and vandalizing shit.
Right.
And I think people in the middle. I'm not talking about the hardcore leftists. I think people in the middle are starting to wake up to that. They're like, that's a bit much. Like again, Trump. They try to paint Trump's speech a couple days ago as he green-lit white supremacy. No, what he did is point out the fact that there's an angry amount of Bolsheviks trying to destroy the country's culture and history, which was a smart move. And because the people know, like, wait, what are you going to tear down the Washington Monument? You're going to tear down the Jefferson Memorial? Where does it stop, dude? Just tell us where it stops. How do you see? Because that's where they struggle answering. Because the far leftists, like the total Antifa people, they want to tear it all down, dude. All of it.
Yeah, they want to destroy all of it. And what do they want to do? They want to bring in communism, and they state that. This is the funny thing. We're anarchists. We're communist anarchists. I'm like, that's an oxymoron. A communist anarchist. Get out of here.
Yeah, they try to sell it the same way Chomsky does. And Emma Goldman at the turn of the century was the same. So the original term anarchist was just hijacked by communists 100 years ago. Exactly. And they try to say, oh no, what they really are saying is we want total, utter social freedom, but yeah, it's still economic slavery. We still want to, you still don't get to own property, dipshits. Like either the workers or government will control the means of production.
Gus, Al Gore is out there saying that all this stuff that's happening right now is because of climate change. That's why people are behaving like this. If we plant more trees and buy more carbon credits so he can fly around the world with his inconvenient lie, part 2, then all this problems will be solved.
There has to be a message, a really simple sales pitch that we could try to get through to these people with. And I don't know if it's based around freedom or just I'm trying to leave you alone and you're not trying to leave me alone. Like I can't make the philosophy any clearer. Like, hey, guess what? My philosophy just totally leaves you alone and you totally leave me alone. How does that sound? Like exactly. That's not good enough for them.
No.
I'm not allowed to use the word she or I'm Hitler. Like
no, you must refer to me as hen.
I'm a leprechaun, and I will take a shit next to your daughter if I want. And if I'm
yes, exactly. I don't want you to offend. My young child needs to learn how to be more tolerant. So it's totally okay.
They're dangerous fucking people, and it's more concerning that. And you've probably already noted this at some point, that not only are they dangerous, but they think they're like counterculture and punk and all that, all these Bolsheviks, and yet all the establishment is on their side. So the fact that like you think you're all like, yeah, anti-state, fuck the man, blah blah blah, and like, by the way, I think the same exact way as the Amazon CEO, Google CEO, Facebook CEO, like they think they're dude, like Lloyd Blankfein on their side. Like the bankers love them. Like JP Morgan and Goldman love Antifa. Like that's the level of like dumb fuck that they are. Like they're like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're anti the man. No, you're not. Actually, who the man hates is like, free market libertarians that love competition and like the man loves dipshits like you. Like, yeah, you're useful idiots.
Exactly. And you got morons like Mark Zuckerberg driving around the country He's doing like his little presidential tour.
Are you, dude? Do you buy it? You think he's going to go in 2020?
If he does, he's a loser. The kid has a personality of a celery, okay, and he's a douchebag. He doesn't he look like he gives off that douchebag vibe, doesn't he?
Well, he
triggers my douchebag radar.
Dude, he strikes me as just being really, really socially awkward.
He is socially awkward. He's
very well, and I think introverted is common amongst like IT coder types. But not only is he introverted and common, but like I don't know, he screams something's off about him. Yeah. I don't know what it is. He might be a serial fucking a closet pedophile. I don't fucking know. A lot of those fuckers are, but the even the whole movie, like was it Social Network? What was it called?
Yeah, Social Network.
Yeah. The cliff notes are kind of like, I did it all to get back at my bitch girlfriend. Yeah.
So stupid. He's another beta male cuck running around, doesn't know shit. He's hired all of Hillary's campaign financiers to help him and give him advice because he knows how to put together a winning team.
Dude, did you see that one interview with it? There was an interview with him, a woman. They were on stage together, and I forgot what conference it was, but he was like sweating bullets, like a rapist or something. And she's like, dude, she's like, take off your hoodie, and he takes off his hoodie, and there was like some mystic eye or something inside the hoodie, and she goes, and the woman goes like, that looks like some sort of Illuminati kind of thing. And he goes, oh, yeah. He puts the hoodie under his chair real quick. It was really fucking weird. He's a strange fucking dude. But who knows, dude? Who knows?
I'd pay good money to slap him.
Dude, I would love to see him.
Can you imagine the scene from the movie Airplane where everybody lined up to slap that woman that we just slapped Mark Zuckerberg?
That's a great fucking movie.
Oh, I would love that.
I would love to see him and Trump on a stage together.
Oh my God! I have that little beta cuck get eviscerated. Have him like literally shit his pants on stage. Trump like, what's that smell?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what he's being that socially awkward. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking putting him in there. Or maybe at some point, whatever. He's like, I'm worth $40 billion. Fuck ever. Like I'm gonna do whatever. And if it's his money,
$40 billion. What? It's imaginary. He's a paper billionaire, like him and Bezos. Paper billionaires, bro.
It's based on likes.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's based on likes. It's based on how many times they can manipulate the stocks of their own damn company. That's how they're billionaires. Physical assets. What kind of physical assets do they own? Come on, it's just a joke.
Well,
Amazon. When was the last time? Look, here's the deal. Amazon's like, oh my God, their market capitalization. This is like going to be a $1 trillion company, Amazon. And you look at what Amazon makes in a year is what ExxonMobil makes in a quarter, bro.
Do you think if we think it's ugly, everything's ugly already, but let's just say for argument's sake, let's say it gets even uglier 3 months, 6 months from now. Do you think Trump would pull the trigger on going antitrust against them?
He should. My whole thing with Donald right now is like, Donald, you got nothing to lose, man. Get out there, start naming, go press on and lean on Hillary more. We know that the FBI, reopened the FOIA investigation, right?
Yeah, well, that occurred. It looks like they're opening up a lot, right? The tarmac stuff, all
the
that.
whole tarmac thing, that's up and running. Press on, there's a lot of strings I could pull. My God. See, I'm an aggressive savage with nothing to lose. If I was working with Trump, I'd advise him, go after Debbie Wasserman Schultz, have that bitch squeal, okay, have her sing, okay, and I'd go after James the Clapper. I would go after John Brennan, okay. Comey's an idiot and a half. He's already spilled his beans, right? I would press on the pedo. What's his name? Anthony Weiner. Right, there's hundreds of over 600,000 email exchanges that they've captured that they have on him. I'd name George Soros enemy of the state and put an arrest warrant out. I would freeze his funds, dude. I would purge the NSA until I got loyalists. I would be so damn hard body. I'd be like Putin, bro.
Just crushing skulls,
crushing scums, bro. Like literally, like I would look at people and people literally shit themselves. Like, oh crap, am I going to get fired, or am I going to get thrown in prison, or am I going to get investigated and my assets searched? People would be terrified. But you get crap done.
Well, I think the purging of bureaucrats is easy. Not easy. It takes a while. Per your point, if I'm him, similar to you, I would go down the fucking roll and be like, and I know this is actually kind of exactly what Google did. I'd be like, all right, who are Democratic hires? We need to purge them. And actually, at this point, can you really even trust anyone who Bush hired? Like, just purge everyone.
Purge everyone. Get your close confidants in. I would bring Scaramucci back. I know he's got some personal crap going on. Bring back the Mooch. Give a call to Roger Stone and say, hey, Roger, I need you to come back. You know, unleash these guys. Let these guys go ahead and wreck them. You don't need anybody who's, he's an expert in this, expert in that. A lot of these guys have outdated, obsolete paradigms that no longer apply to the modern world. Get rid of these idiots who are hooked on perpetual debt and perpetual war. Purge the whole damn thing. Call the American people to help you, President. Mr. President, we will be there. We will be there with bells on, bro.
Well, I think he tried, dude. I think his strategy was trying to appease a lot of the media and neocons and establishment by a lot of the hires and internal shit. And he quickly realized that it didn't fucking matter. Like, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They're going to try to crucify you anyway. Like, why bother having Priebus in there, a McMahon, like whoever you put in there, you put someone they like in there, they don't give a shit. Yeah. They're still, the New York Times is going to try to crucify you anyway.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have friends of the neocon establishment. And by the way, they're voting down all your legislation too.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it doesn't. Anything you put up there, these motherfuckers are against you.
Exactly. I got nothing to lose, man. Might as well be the wrecking ball.
But that's the paradox, right? So when you if you start doing total wrecking ball shit, that's when they're like, Hitler put his political opponents in jail. Like that's exactly what they go to.
Fine, and no one's gonna believe. That's why he needs to treat the American people. He's got nothing to lose. I think Donald Trump right now is the most dangerous and most effective he could possibly be.
I think literally that presidents, not Trump, but like Obama, Hillary. I think, and even candidates, presidents in this country and candidates have so much political power that if we could find a clip, a genuine clip of Hillary and Obama eating a baby, and half the country or 25% of the country still wouldn't want them in jail. Like, they'd be like, no, we know that's propaganda. That's that's flat earther stuff. That never happened. Like, the political protection some of these people have. Dude, Obama's almost like a cult figure. Like, so the liberals like cry about Obama. Like,
the greatest president ever.
Yeah, oh my God! Now pay your Obamacare fine. Like, yeah, these people are like almost untouchable. It's because the ideology is so fucking toxic. Like, it's insane. There's no, and to let you know, as far as Republican presidents go back, I think both Bushes are pieces of shit, like evil pieces of shit, especially the last one. Yeah, I don't think there's a president I like since Reagan. Like, so I wouldn't care if like they threw George Bush in jail for war crimes. I'd be like, what took so long? I get, okay, yeah, I understand. Agreed. Iraq was a lie. Bullshit. But the liberal love of Obama and Hillary is like, it's so disgusting that they don't care. It doesn't matter what we uncovered or whatever, because obviously laws were broken. The spying, Trump's transition team, the unmasking, whatever the fuck again, manipulating linguistics. Dude, of course they broke laws, but is anyone going to go to prison for it? I would love to see it. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely, man. Unreal. Anyway, dude, yeah. I can't believe we're at the end of the show.
Good talk as always, bro. Good talk.
Dude, it's always exciting. It's hard hitting, fast and gritty, and just the only way that that we do. Last closing comments, man, and about perpetual assets. If anybody needs help.
Yeah, perpetual assets. Google perpetual assets. Give us a call. We don't sell ammo yet, but maybe that's what we should be selling.
We specialize in the other precious metal, lead.
I wish we sold bulletproof vests and ammo and shit, but we don't. So yeah, retirement accounts. We deal in LLC IRAs. If you're interested in buying cryptocurrencies or metals with your IRA, look us up. Give us a call. Google perpetual assets, or just put perpetualassets.com in your browser, and hopefully, knock on wood, man, we make it to next week. There's a lot of like awesome shit going on the economic side and the crypto side, and I wish all the toxic shit wasn't going on the political side, because it'd be great if it was just all about like, God, all these businesses going on around cryptos right now, and there's so much excitement and blah blah blah. It's like you can't even it's hard to even focus on that shit when like the country is on the brink of civil war. It's absurd. So yeah, fuck it till next week if we make it that far.
Yep, exactly. We'll be fine. With that being said, folks, we're at the end of the broadcast. Tune in again next week where you get the chance to cuss with Gus. With that being said, take it away, CJ.